All right, so first mid, got Radiant slow here, so that's still needs to be worked on. I'm gonna slow this down actually. Soldier gets launched, that should be a kill. Doing okay getting spread out. I'm not sure where Trey's looking. Okay, I like this overall. I mean, you're like basically making a line here. Which is good. You want to get some scouts on height and probably a soldier on height too. Like Dupe is gonna be kind of stuck back there. You should instead kind of go up here and take some space. And then likewise, you probably want a second soldier to be up here, like where Radiant is. Yeah, Trey's pretty, that's all right there. Trying to spam there. Okay, so check this out. This is like huge. These guys are free kills, or not, maybe not free kills, but like these guys can definitely die over here. Once these guys are behind this rock like this, a little bit of spam is going to totally keep them out, and it might lock out your demo, but that's fine for that to happen. So we're going to want to see some spreading out, some spreading out. Yeah, so this is not ideal. Super should be up top and leaving the medic for a little bit. You pick up that kill. You see how the demo, I mean, Floofy has to be the furthest one forward here. Which, you know, Floofy probably can stay behind this line. But, so Trey's going in, that's good. You should also be going in Radiant on that. You're just kind of slowly spamming. Okay, yeah, you jump in just a little slow on that, you know, one spam rocket instead of a kill. Once again, look how grouped up we are. And there's just like, everyone's a little hurt here. So you should be able to chase that really hard. They get a spawner, but you really have to get second off of a thing like this, which hopefully you do. Oh, Raid does not get that kill. That's too bad. Okay, so didn't get the meta kill, got second. Players are getting up. Right now, you guys' thoughts should be, I'm not sure if you do this or not, thought should be, let's see if they have a sentry, if they do, where that is, and if it's possible, can we spam that sentry down early? So then we can get some sacks going. Because you're like not really at a position in which you can just push in usually. So it looks like we get a little bit of spotting. That's good, but it's even Ubers. You guys have to be thinking about how you want to do it. I would think spam that stuff down and then send in some sacks, but we'll see. Look like you guys just pop in instead. If you guys are going to pop in, I would keep your soldiers out of it early on until that sentry goes down and then jump in. That's kind of like your timing, unless you guys have a specified timing outside of that. Yeah, you guys are just going to get mulched here. So the reason that didn't work at the easiest level is just you didn't have any advantage at all. You guys are 6 up. They have a sentry. They're defending. Like, that's just generally a disadvantaged spot. In general, if you're defending a point, you kind of have a +1 advantage. And if you have a sentry, that's another +1. So you kind of have to work on that in order to stop those, even up that advantage disadvantage situation. So at the very least, spamming down the sentry before you pop in is going to get you a lot more. I haven't watched ahead yet, but you guys are standing as if this is even Ubers or even Uber ahead. Your med died, and you guys should know that you're at disadvantage. I don't know that you should know that you're up to, at the max, you should be thinking 40 disadvantage. Usually it's like 20 or 30. In this case, it is about 30. So right now you should be backing up. Your med, I don't want to get out of there. Oh, good, you guys do back up. All right, that's good. Well, not really. You guys start to back up basically when they start to jump in. So you needed to have backed up a few seconds ago. When they jump in, your med at the furthest forward should be like there, and even that's kind of risky. Your med should probably be around there, because you got to be thinking they are definitely going to be Ubering in. So I have to imagine that your med's gonna die here, and also kind of hesitating getting out. Yeah. Yeah, so Radiant, let's see what happens with you. You get behind, I like that. You jump back in when the Uber's done. I also like that. I don't like where you landed. Where did you land? I think that your mentality here is I'm just trying to jump as far forward as possible. Which is not what you want to do necessarily. If their med was here and you're landing on the med, I think that that's great. You're landing on the med. But if you don't know where the med is, you should be either thinking I need to land up top, or if I can land on the med, on the med. So one of those two locations. You're not gonna be able to do that from choke. So what you should do instead is either go through sewer. That's probably gonna take too long depending on where you're at. Or more likely you wanna let's get out of that. You wanna high bomb, which I haven't really seen you do. And it seems like you're ignoring the necessity of you learning how to do high bombs and incorporating them. So I want you to work on that. In the meantime, you can just bomb, or you not bomb, jump to this pack, then bomb. You're gonna be down a rocket, so most cases you're gonna want to, instead of landing on them, you're gonna want to land like over here, maybe over here. Though the sightlines are a little wonky, but probably around there is good. It's going to be hard for them to dislodge you because the demo is going to have a hard time shooting at you. If you're in that soft spot for the demo, like the demo is going to be shooting anywhere around there from that position. Like that's like the threat range. Now they can make other shots, but you know, here to between those two rings are where the demo can really hit you hard. Might extend a little bit out, but if you can stay within these rings, going to be hard for the demo, which means, and it's always going to be hard for the soldiers. It's going to be easier for the scouts, but generally that's okay. So that's not going to be very effective because you just aren't close enough. I like that you decide to run, but if you want to run, you got to run faster. So I think that right there, you just need, it's a little bit of work to understand that when you are landing on somebody versus when you are taking their attention and then getting out of there. And you kind of are in this, we're in a weird middle ground there. So that's why that was not as successful, even though your decision to go behind, I think, is a smart one there. Okay, so you guys have Uber pretty early on. So what do you have? Okay. If this was a scout demo medic, I would consider pushing in with your soldier. But yeah, this is a little tough. So this is the reason that your disad hold was not, you guys weren't far enough back, is because they've taken the point, which is going to happen. And you guys successfully got out, which is great, but look how long it takes before you can even counter attack. You just spawned your 6th player. Realistically, you have 5 players right now, and they already have 50%. So you're just burning a lot of ad there, which you could instead be using. The reason that it's really nice to have a bunch of ad is that if you have 100% and they have 0%, they will have to respect you guys. So you guys can actually dry push in, because if they hold close, you just pop onto them, you wipe them, you take everything. If you dry push in fast enough, steady enough, and they get out, well, you can actually sometimes convert that into a second push off of that. So you can get 2 points off of that. But instead, since you guys were a little bit too far forward, you died too many players died. Now you only have 30% ad before you can go in. So that's going to be tough. Hopefully it's fine. This is not a good push, because nobody's really ready for it. So you guys pop now. You don't have anybody on flank that's close enough. Precursor needs to be up with you if you guys are going to be flank shoving this, which is fine. Your soldiers just jumping into sewer there. I would, on this map, in particular, it's just slow to go through sewer as a soldier. It can work, but you got to be, on top of it. And generally, I would want to be like, I'm going to go through sewer as a soldier, and my combo's going through choke. What I'd want to do instead is be ready. I want to already be in sewer by the time that they pop. When they pop, I want to be standing basically here. All right, we popped. I walk forward, jump, and I can catch that exit. But instead, Floofy gets juggled, and the missed on the reflash. Ray finally can get in, but I mean that's just like doesn't work at all. And since you only had 30% ad at this point, they're gonna be able to come back in with full force. Now at this point, your flank needs to stay there and needs to go for a flank shove because you're too committed. There's no real way for you guys to get out successfully if they're fast. So what you want to do is you want to hide a little bit, and then as soon as they push through, you want to shove that flank. I don't think that you'll be doing that, but just because it's kind of a hard play to recognize. You guys do get out, but it's pretty ugly, and they didn't even have to use. That's really bad. Most important thing that you can do on a second hold that you're not going to be able to hold is make sure that they don't have Uber for their last push. You need to make sure that you guys have even Ubers at the worst. So would have liked to see either Radiant or Trey needs to be jumping that med. But yeah, this is highly unlikely to be a good last hold. Radiant needs to live this. Okay, yeah. Here's not a bad time for somebody to run sniper, try to get one shot off. The idea of getting that Uber forced early. Yeah, okay, let's see. So what happens here? They are called through one for sure. That has to be called. So medic needs to, you're in nest because you're gonna kite. You're in heaven because you're gonna kite through nest. So that's your time to kite is when they're coming in with Uber because you cannot hold that without Uber. Floofy also needs to be backed up. That's not good. That's Troy's job. Troy basically did the correct thing, and everyone else tried to do as Troy was doing, which is defeats the point of having some. Or sorry, Trey, which defeats the point of what Trey was doing. So that one largely, that last primarily got lost on that mid hold, which kind of got lost at that last. You're pushing last without an advantage, then you lost second because of that. Totally reasonable. Then you lost mid because you were holding forward when it was a disadvantaged spot. And since you held forward, not only did you lost mid because you didn't have Uber, and then you lost second because your hold on mid was too far forward. You couldn't have enough people to hold it, and then your hold on last failed because nobody forced their med, and also you guys failed a push out. People weren't really ready for it. Anyway. Okay, slow this down. Looking pretty good so far. If they're not contesting top, love to see Supa needs to get over there. Or do something else, but needs to be on height. This is not really defending your medic at all. Really, like, your scout's defending this area. Well, do they want to be there? Right now, no. You don't really have anybody over there. It keeps you out of the fight in terms of splash, which is great, but it's time to jump over. And Precursor needs to move forward as well. Trey's okay there for the most part, but this is a very cramped mid at times, and the way that you make it uncramped is by taking as much space as that they'll give you, and in fact forcing them into corners. So you don't have to go by yourself. You can fake like you're pushing all the way across point, and then kind of like backing a little bit. But right now everyone's in one spot. Good Super comes over here. Radiant's a little hurt. Looks like trade's probably going to fall off either on purpose or on accident. And now you guys are cramped up again. So this is bad. Luckily, they're not in an especially good spot. But what needs to happen now is you guys have to relieve some pressure. So we'll see if you do. Walking forward is a way to relieve pressure. I don't really like it because you eat a million spam. I'm not sure why Supa is here. So that doesn't work. Once again, everybody is in the same spot. I think one problem that people have with process mids is they think process mid is a rotational mid. So in order to rotate, you choose a side, you rotate through it. And that's how you play process mid. And so you go, okay, well, I'm rotating through it. Well, okay, so I've gotten here. What do I do next? Now I go this way. Problem with it is that you are forgoing all of your, like, any sort of good positioning. The point of doing a rotational mid is that there is no spot that you can safely be at and be effective at on this mid. That can't be attacked from some other way. So Sunshine's another one like this, but for now process, it's like you'd love to have some people up here, but then you get spammed really hard by a demo and it's actually worse for you. It's just too cramped up top. Like, okay, well that's not a great spot. Well, what about back here? Is that a good spot? And it's like, well, you're mostly safe, but you just aren't effective, and you can kind of go through every part of that and see what works and what doesn't. And a lot of times what happens is you're effective from one spot for a little bit of time or from a certain angle. And so you want to maximize that by rotating, by moving, giving yourself a front that's really hard to push against. So like here, nobody's going to want to be right there, for instance. But it puts you in a bad spot if everybody's in the exact same spot. So what that means, let's back this up just to bring it all together. This is a doorway and everyone's going through the same doorway. Not good. You want to have somebody here like Radiant normally is, but is unfortunately a little bit too hurt to continue being up there. Having somebody up there relieve some pressure. You can have a person in the doorway. You can have your meta here. And then you also need to be doing something else. So somebody needs to be crossing point. Somebody needs to be in the air. Anything like that. People just need to be spread apart. And so your thought should be, we're rotating to be together as a unit, not together as in the exact same position. So like that trade jumps in, but it's just like too little too late. If I'm a demo man and I put 4 stickies right here and I don't detonate them, I will kill every single one of you guys. Like, ready? Boom. I could kill 3 people right there. And if I put 2 more stickies, now Radiant's dead as well. It's not good. Everyone's going through the same spot. Just like you wouldn't push through a last through one doorway, you shouldn't push mid through a single. That's effectively a doorway right there. Anyway, that's why that didn't work. It's also a thing that happened on your first mid. You guys all went through the same spot. Really bad habit to have. Your scout should be taking that high ground a bit more and taking anything they'll give you and kind of making it hard for them to stay up there. So they're gonna Uber into last. You guys are gonna want heavy. Probably won't have time for it. Yeah, you might have had time for sentry. Not totally certain. At low levels, I think a heavy plus a sentry is actually kind of sick. You don't have to do it, but it does make it hard for them. And people, the reason it's good at low levels and bad at higher levels is that people just tend to overcommit and don't know how to like pull back. The disadvantage of having both classes that it's hard to push out, but if you kill everyone, then it's easy to push out. So that's kind of the thing that you're doing. Once again, we're not really in a good spot here. This is going to be hard to hold no matter what. But once again, we are over here. It's not going to be possible for you to live this. If you're the medic, only way that you live this is if you're in a spot that their demo man can't reach you, which means that if the demo man bombs you, unlikely from here, but possible, you need to be able to get out from there, which means you need to be maybe here. and then your demo man could be there, maybe. Honestly, if I'm demo man and I see these guys coming through, I'm shooting some sticks, I'm backing up, I'm backing up, I'm backing up. Then we're here, and I can duck into nest if I need to. So those huge disadvantage holds, you're just too close to that doorway. What's going on with Radiant? Everyone's looking over there. Precursor doesn't need to be there for any reason. You guys have 4 people that can handle this. Precursor needs to be doing, for instance, catching their, making sure that their flank can't get in, or if their flank gets in, running around them. Even if Precursor was like, actually, fuck it, I'm going to go over here. Actually, never mind that. I wouldn't do that because you're going to get pinched. You just need to be help stuff doors and relieve pressure. So like this, Radiant stops that. Shoots 2. What's going on here? Who are we jumping? A little unclear. I think that might have been to try to save point, but I don't. It's not really good or bad because you guys are not gonna. I don't think. Anyway, next mid. We'll slow it down. See where we're going. They fast roll out a soldier. Okay, I like that. Trey takes point up here. I like that Supa is going a little bit further up here. That's good to prevent. So when we were talking earlier, when he was here, he was defending this area, and nobody really wanted to be over here. Now he's defending this area. Still not super effective, but if a soldier bombs directly onto you, which could be very good, then that's going to be really hard for them to do anything when Soup is there. So I don't mind this at all. It also enables him to come across point as soon as something happens. So what do we got here? Not really. This is a hard spot for Floofy. One of the reasons I don't like rotational mids too much is that it just kind of puts you into weird spots a lot of the time. So like Floofy is kind of blind shooting. Oh, great sticky if you can dead it, but then you can't dead it because you can't see it. So yeah, that's tough. Yeah. So what? Now this is kind of up to you guys. We do not play heavily rotational mids on my team, but no matter if we go left or if we go right, I prefer a demo man to play a little bit more centrally for a while, and then either time it when people are rotating here, crossing the point, I think is really effective. Same thing if you go, if you go left. Well, actually, let's just focus on right for now. Demo man stays here and then can cross point if need be. Over here in the corner, he's kind of fucked because a soldier up here you can kind of shoot, but it's like mostly even for the soldier, which is not an exchange you want to be taking as a demo man. And then doesn't do a great job across the point there. Over here, you can back up a little bit more safely if need be, catch an arrow, and then it allows you to deny this whole area so much easier. And if they aren't up there, you have a clear sight line to shoot and deny some space. So I would probably prefer your demo man to be a little bit more central. Because just Trey and Precursor are doing pretty good. And Supa doesn't really have an opportunity to do a lot more. Now, you could have Precursor go forward and then Supa can take the spot of Precursor, which would be great. But see that soldier jumps up, and that's just kind of, that's a result of no damage being put onto them. Alternatively, what you could do if your demo man does want to hard commit over here during the time period where they can't be doing anything because they can't shoot or because they can't see anything, so the time period where they're crossing that blue there, you really should have some soldiers relieving pressure more acutely by going for bombs. You could full commit to high bombs, both soldiers, and I think that would relieve some pressure, but they're not going to have support from the demo man either. So, yeah, probably just wouldn't put the demo there. Entry should be up. So here it's evens. Well, it will be evens hopefully. And so now it's okay to put your medic here. So that's the difference. Because if they do come through, you can pop, they can pop, and they're going to be stuck in the doorway. So here's the pop. And actually in this one, the med gets out, which is totally fine. I don't think you have to stop that. But here's an issue going on. Medic's on point. Doesn't need to be ever. That's not great. Where's our demo stickies on that? Well, I guess it's evens. It's fine. So this is weird. I'd like to know what's happening. The reason I don't know what's happening is that we only have the combo here, and I'm not sure what the soldiers are doing. So let's see. Radiant's getting into fights. You know, is getting pushed. Trey gets hit by this Uber. This is a confusing hold. And where's your sentry? No sentry. I think there's time for one. Oh, you're just pulling up the sentry here. Oh, I see what's happened. Okay. Sorry. You can't see sentries on there. Sentry's there. Okay. So here's what's happening. Luffy's just spawning. So that's not ideal. Okay. When you have a sentry, you need to, the point of it is that they have to waste their Uber on the sentry. That's like almost entirely the point of the gun in the first place. So if you think more, and if they don't kill that sentry and they don't have any Uber, it's going to be a problem for them. So if they are going to Uber in here, let's back it up. If you have a sentry here, you need to stop it from being spammed down by the one door. This is a really bad place for a team to be pushing from if they're spotted, because they can just get spammed to hell. So Trey needs to, or Floofy, but Floofy just spawned. So Trey needs to be stuffing this door unbelievably hard. You guys will have Uber charge. So you should have your medic here. You should have Trey needs to be here. And this demo cannot be getting free kills on that sentry. So when Trey stuffs that, they will pop Uber, or bad things will happen to them. If Trey dies, Trey dies. If they pop, you can pop. Because if they pop, you pop, their push is pretty much done. Like, they have to leave. They're not going to get the sentry. If they get the sentry, you just pull up another sentry. You're just going to restart your last push or your last hold. You're totally good. But instead, they can get in for free. They kill your sentry, and they have better ground than you, basically. Trey's in an okay spot, but your demo doesn't want to be here. Your medic doesn't want to be here. Your scout's fine there. Your heavy comes out, but doesn't get crit buffed. And effectively, you guys are just getting spammed to hell because you have 3 people here. Radiant gets pushed by 2. Trey's ineffective as a result of how that hold goes. So if your sentry's here, then you can't let them spam it from here. Alternatively, with the sentry in the left spawn, that's kind of the default for a reason. You can spam it, but it just they get exposed a little bit harder there. So yeah, just don't let them spam that down for free. Take that exchange if you have to. If they're stuck in one door, they will have to exchange if you want them to. Once again, we have a mid fight. We'll see how Floofy's like just can't get any good shots. That's not because Floofy can't make shots. It's because the positioning is makes it impossible to do anything. This one get hit off of on that red soldier. Okay. Okay. So we've talked a lot about 2 things so far in mids. We've talked about not grouping up there. We've talked about the importance of taking height and making sure that they denying their height as well. And the benefit of that additionally being that it spreads you out. So when we watch what happens on height here, we have one person on height, okay? Second person gets on height as they rotate off. And we finally have one more person on height, but they push forward and we run away from it. So if you're a buffed scout, even if it's not fully buffed, soldier just jumped up, like you can tell if somebody has any buff. Maybe you're afraid of that scout. That soldier jumps forward. They've used 2 rockets right now. You don't know exactly how much health, but that's about what you'd expect. That's a free kill for you. You do not need to jump off. You need to prevent them from pushing you. So that would be a kill for you, but instead everybody backs up. Now we don't have height and we're all grouped up. Luffy's finally in a position to be doing some damage, but by the time that happens, things are no longer very good. Luffy dies because taking the brunt of stuff, and that should just be probably a wipe. Now what's Radiant doing? I like the position to begin with. I don't like that. Actually, not sure how I feel about it, frankly. You see. Because you're in a spot that right now is passive. That's totally fine. One advantage of being passive is that it allows you to preserve your height so that you can use it later. An advantage is not so much that if you're going to spam that, you have to hit that. So don't shoot the ones that you can't hit. So now you're totally at a... Okay, right now... Well, now it's not good. I'm trying to see if you have an opportunity here. You see bow scouts over here? You see bow scouts. This is your opportunity. You see bow scouts and you see bow soldiers and you know Demo's there, and I think you can presume that meta is there as well. You should kill them. You should kill both of these players right now. You have 145 health. If you rocket jump and you don't take off all fall damage, it will take 2 pipes to kill you. So that is as good as it gets for you. Unlikely. Realistically, you're going to die from a pipe and something else. But if you jump, because you see bow scouts, those are the things you're afraid of. You can kill these guys. If you do that, the benefit of it is that one, let's say that these 4 ignore you, it takes a lot of pressure off of your team. Luffy can come forward and can shoot all these guys really effectively and is no longer stuck in death corner. That's one advantage. Second advantage is that these guys will collapse on you. They will give up their height advantage. Your scouts will take height, ideally, and suddenly the middle is all under your control once again. So that is what you're looking for there. Your green light is that the scouts cannot stop you, and when the scouts can't stop you, you should, and you're close enough to like get a bomb like that. That's like so nice. Once again, you know, here it's not ideal, but you're in a really bad spot as a team, and as a soldier, you can do something to relieve that. Your options here are you can do a bunch of different things, and I think all of them can work. One, you can bomb onto them. They have a scout, so it might not be as effective. 2, you can jump over to here, control that scout. The scout won't know how much health you have, but it does stop them, and hopefully gets your scout time to help you kill them. You can also fade bomb, and land anywhere. All these things are gonna help a lot. Standing here is going to allow them time to 3v1 your demo. So that's why you don't want to stand there. I know you ran out of ammo, but part of why you don't want to spam in the first place. Okay, I'm not going to watch the rest of that at slow motion because it's kind of a done deal at that point. That one was largely a scout problem, and then the aforementioned, I don't like putting Demo Man back there because Floofy can do damage and should allow them to do that. So Precursor needs to be back. Needs to be setting up a sentry. You guys are not holding this. I mean, you're the reason that you would have somebody stay here is to slow them down to allow you to get a sentry up. But you didn't really have anybody going on sentry, so now you just got your heavy up. Instead, you could have had a, like, all you're going to learn is like, oh, they're coming in to take second. You know that they're going to take second. I don't like, this is the third time that Floofy's been here for it. Second and a half time, maybe. You're on disad. You can sometimes play the powerful demo man and make it so that they take a ton of damage, and then they, in their post Uber fight, they're kind of screwed. I don't like it as much. I would rather, at the most, I think either you can put a cheeky trap up, and your cheeky trap options are here along this wall to catch somebody and get a trap kill, save the day. You can watch that from here. You can be like, oh, I'm looking out the right side. Oh, I'm looking over here, even though I'm facing this way. You know, that kind of stuff. You can sticky that to force them to up there. You can also just sticky up the point like you would on any last. Sticky that point. That's great. Shoot some pipes in there. They will Uber. That's your job is. I mean, like, somebody needs to be Ubering them or getting them to Uber. But it gets away largely by getting blasted. The positioning, once again, is kind of an issue. This would be another time where having stickies on point on a disad pulled would be really advantageous, because you could have killed a couple of people, or at the very least launched them into the corners. But your issue is that they can get in with their Uber and get kills while they're getting in. In order to successfully hold against an Uber when you're at disad, you have to get them to pop Uber early while not getting value until later into their Uber. The longer it goes before they get value, the better it is for you, and the more likely it will be that you win. So don't overcommit people too closely is there. Okay, Floofy's going left here. I like that. Okay, so earlier I said let's not talk about left rotations. I'm going to guess, without having seen it, that Floofy's going to rotate way early here. I think that it's when a demo man is left rotating, it is okay to go, and you can actually go fairly early, but you need your whole team to be there. So I like to have my demo man here-ish, and then as soon as people are ready to go, usually because you have a couple of people on height, or your soldiers are about to go, then you can hard commit. But if you go too early, you will die. So see what happens. Precursor's up there. Koopa is back here. Don't like that. This is something I've talked to my pocket scout about this in the past. If you are back here behind your medic, you are not in the right spot. You want to be between your medic and the enemy, and in this case, it is not your medic's fault. You guys are going for a fast, hard left rotate. So that means that you need to be coming forward. One thing I really like as scout on this map, as pocket scout, jumping on this rail and then double jumping up there. I think you might need winger for it. But what we can also do is you can get onto this rail. See that soldier up there? You jump, boom, hit him for, let's say you hit him for 90. I don't know. You hit him for 50, 60. And then you can just jump back to here. If you're really good, you can land on the rail again, but you shouldn't land on it. That soldier is going to be out of the fight until they get an arrow. So that's something you can do to deny the height while you're still on the low ground, instead of kind of like rolling around back here. I think this is kind of a habit I've seen of you, Supa, which is being overly passive. As a pocket scout, you're getting a lot of heals, and your job is to be an area denial specialist. If you think about a demo man's ability to put some stickies, if demo man stickies off the point, this area is denied. In a similar way, as scout, a position around you is denied because people don't want to be in the zone. So your job is to move that zone to wherever it needs to be. So in this case, you're just a little too far back. So, like where Trey is here, Precursor's back here. If Super were up here, that would be really nice. Alternatively, instead of going left, you can go Big Rock and then jump up and then catch up over here. But what's likely to happen here, Floofy's caught out. It won't die immediately, but Trey is getting focus fire, is about to die. Radiant is not healthy enough to bomb, most likely, and so Trey will probably die here. Oh, Trey lives. Oh, Trey's out of the fight. And now Radiant is... Oh my. Okay, great. They didn't finish off Trey, so you guys have a chance here. Ooh, Radiant, you need to relieve some tension. Oh, hard, though. Yeah, so this is, again, why you need to have a scout up here. It was way too far back to be able to be effective. If your medic is leaving the fight, you guys are probably leaving the fight. So once again, you guys are clumping up and dying as a result of it. Responsibility on that one is largely Supa to create some space, and then Precursor also gets shoved off and then just stays shoved off for a long time. Instead, if you're getting shoved off, Precursor, I would have rather seen you get to Big Rock maybe, or you can do some wild stuff, but I wouldn't go too far away because you're just gonna get in trouble. Okay, so last hold should have. We're not switching to off classes fast enough, so you should spawn as an off class if you're scout here. I think you have. I need to know my sentry timings better. I always would just go sentry. People are just not going to be fast for a while. If you're not going to go sentry, you have to go heavy. You're just not going to be able to hold this too well. Okay, so they get in. You pop as well. So this should be a little bit better, I have to imagine. Trey needs to get out of here immediately. So hopefully they do. The reason Trey needs to get out of here is you want Floofy to be going 1v2 here. Precursor needs to get the hell out of here too, but it's probably caught, so that might not be possible. But Trey needs to leave. Trey kind of leaves. Trey does not leave. Trey tries to take that fight and is going to die. So Trey needs to leave hard. So the first thing I would do is just jump away. You don't need to be effective while the Ubers are coming in. You just need to be. You need to survive until the Uber is done. So since Trey does not survive, and Precursor does not survive, this is going to be really hard, if not impossible, to hold. How does Precursor die? Probably just up there. Yeah. So, Precursor should be thinking, I am so stuck here. My only chance is if their Uber fades before they realize they have a good shot on me. So you need to be here. You need to be gesturing like you're doing stuff. And if they look at you, you need to be running. And then you need to be doubling back because you can't actually run. But under no circumstances should you come down because they're shooting there already. So Trey goes into there where they're also shooting and dies as a result of it. I don't see what Radiant's doing, but has largely survived. So you know that they're coming in through 1, so you don't have to hard stuff 5-door. Okay. You know that Scout's a little bit of a problem. I don't really mind this too much. I liked it when you're a little bit further forward. Your thought should be, my primary mode of action here is, that's a pretty good shot. Don't be spamming there. Your primary mode of action is jumping on them at the right time. So being ready to jump on them at the right time. I like that little jump. I don't mind this. I don't mind this because they're in a doorway. But you're the only one left. So once again, you guys are just holding that door so close, and you're gonna die every time for it. Oh, that's the end of the scrim. So not too many things. It's just the same things kept happening. Those things primarily being dying in doorways. If we count this as a doorway, which you should, there's a lot of deaths that happened all over here. 4 people being in the same spot, 3 people being in the same spot, even 2 people being in the same spot is not good. So that was a big issue. Everybody being back here while you don't have a demo man effectively is not ideal. So keeping demo man out or somehow getting your demo man over there while they not on you too fast. Both of those are possible. Your last holds are getting compromised by getting the force but giving up too much. If they're coming in through here, they will use because they should be deathly afraid of stickies there. And if you're also committing the soldier onto this side, then the soldier should be able to, a 300 HP soldier should be able to get that force. Besides that, people should not be dying. You had one good round that I think is worth watching a couple times that just got a lot of small things added on top of each other. So I just rewatched that to see what's going on if you don't have a good memory of it. And yeah, that's mostly it. Make sure you control height on mids because that's especially your scouts need to be jockeying for that position, denying them. You don't have to be getting kills up there. You need to be making it really uncomfortable for the other team to be up there. And some of that is posturing, and some of that is getting a little bit of help from your teammates. If Floofy lands, 80 damage across a person or two people, they're not going to want to be up there. So you jumping at them is going to make them fall off most of the time. So yeah, you can be a little bit more confident on be more successful.